I'm Bev Butkow. I'm a spatial weaver, a material painter, an artist mother, a wife, a carer, a connector, and many, many other things. I never had a plan to become an artist, but I seem to be following some kind of like guided journey that the clues just keep on directing me towards a great investment in the arts and to direct my life there. Being in a corporate, in a financial kind of world, it was a very mind-heavy, intellectual kind of place to be, and it's been an amazing journey to move more into a embodied kind of space. So it's really been a journey from head space to heart space and body space, and I'm trying to work in a way that integrates head, mind, heart, body, to make work that shows us that there's more to the world than just the commercialized kind of like Western narrowing that I think that humanity has been plunged through. So my process always starts sitting on the floor surrounded by a pile of stuff, and I then work try and find different ways to combine them, to transform them, to see what I can do with them. At some point, I step back from the playing and the messing and the experimenting and start trying to see if anything has come out in that process. So with weaving, at some point when I stepped back, I realized that there was such a strong sense of labor that came through the repetition, the rhythm, the labor, the work that came through in the work, and then that became a theme of the work. So I always like to start in the messy, places, and then to step back from there where I can. It's really important to me that all parts of myself are included in the work. My only difficulty is that my mind sometimes likes to overrun everything. So when I'm in the studio, I put on podcasts, I listen to artist talks, I do everything to distract my mind so that the body and the hands can get busy doing the things they need to do. When I was a young girl, I used to go into my grandmother's drawers and open them, and there were these beautifully rolled up ribbons which were ready to be reused again, and wrapping paper from gifts that had been folded and packaged away and put away, pieces of used string. And I guess that I learned from my grandmother's sense that everything is valuable and everything is precious. It's about looking after the material things around us. And I have such a strong sense in our world that there's just an accumulation of stuff that we don't value. We're quite consumerist in the way we just use the material things around us and disregard them. So my process is very much invested in everyday materials that are excess, surplus to what our needs are, and to use those in the works to make something beautiful and precious of them, to try and draw our attention to the preciousness of materials. I also, in a very strange way, wonder what sentience materials have, and if there's any way that I can have a conversation with the materials that I work with. And it's one of the reasons that I try and engage so deeply with materials, to see how they contribute to the process rather than me just imposing my will on everything around. Guns and Reins put on this group exhibition, Fractured Foundations, Reimagining Resilience, to take account of where the world and South Africa is now, with so many of our structures falling apart and breaking down. And then the question of what green shoots have the opportunity to grow through that mess. So rather than taking a desolate view of the end of society and humanity and the detritus around us, what can grow that's valuable from it? I was on a painting residency in Zimbabwe, and the sense very much of the resilience that's needed to keep on going in the world was so present there. My paintings were all inspired by this new way of thinking, a new way of being that's possible, and very much in my world, a female way and a motherly way and a nurturing way, because I believe that the opportunity for humanity to move forward from this kind of mess that we're in now is through accessing matriarchal wisdom. I really do believe that women are going to be the transformative fire and power that's going to take us forward. It's exciting because you have on the one hand the academics with this wealth of knowledge and experience, and on the other hand the youth and the enthusiasm of students, and kind of combining those two I think is really going to be very valuable for me. I can't wait to start engaging with the university and what it offers. Well, I had a conversation with Gordon Froud, head of Fine Arts, and we agreed that my engagement will be fun. So we are going to have lots of fun together. And I have this idea in my mind of getting a group of people together and doing body weaving. So you have people holding threads and weaving and dancing together and using the movements of the body and the dancing and the rhythms to create a weave. And I think there's opportunities of, the kind of film productions that can come out of that your teams could help with. I think there's so much of interest that could come out of doing an exercise like that. So that's what I'm going to propose. So I think every artist's work comes from so deeply within them that you have to, as an artist, self-reflect. So there's always that element of self-reflection. For me, though, there's also how I sit within the world and the culture and our community around us. And it's these two elements that come together in my work. And I genuinely think that transformation and solutions and answers come from these huge, big ideas, but actually I think they come from the everyday, from the tiny, from the repetitive, from the mundane. And when we start seeing the beauty of the world around us in the tiniest little things, that for me is a really exciting place for transformation. My work is very tactile and it's immersive, and I'm inviting viewers to come in and engage in a very different way to how we normally do. We've been taught that art is a visual medium, but actually for me it's an embodied experience. And if you come in with an open mind and you sit and engage with the materials, I think that the opportunity to shift something, to see different perspectives, to see from a different angle, open themselves, and that's what I'm hoping that audiences will do. So the UJ installation is really exciting to me because, well, it's totally daunting as well. It's going to be a permanent installation in the foyer of the UJ Theatre. So that's incredibly exciting. But the question was, what would be my starting point and how do I connect that space with my work? And when I noticed that the theatre was named after the first poet laureate of South Africa, Professor Kgotsitsile, I thought to myself, this is the perfect place to start. So the work is about text and textile. The word text derives from textile, the relationship between the two, rhythm, poetry, the body, movement, and a woman's space of being.